Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to be back on the Jane's Doodles YouTube channel. Today I am back with another card and a matching bookmark with the Warm Hugs stamp set by Jane's Doodles. I am just in love with that bear. I've said it before in a very recent video even, but I just can't stop crafting with it. So I'm going to stamp a couple of the images from this stamp set with Versafine Onyx black ink, and this is an ink cube that is actually available at the Jane's Doodles store, so you can pick it up together with these stamps if you want it. And I'm stamping that onto some watercolor cardstock. This is Canson Mauval 200 GSM cardstock. I'm stamping that twice just to make sure I get a great impression on all of those details. Jane's Doodle stamps are very detailed, that is why I love them, and that also makes them really easy to color. I'm going to emboss these because I love the look of embossing powder, so I am adding a glossy outline with glossy or while embossing clear gloss superfine embossing powder. And also, if you're doing watercoloring and you have an embossed outline, it's actually easier to color because the outline, if it's embossed, stops the water or the paint from spilling over outside of the lines. I'm doing some very quick watercoloring for this, not just because it's sped up. This was actually really quick to do. I am making the bear's sweater orange because I know I'm going to have some green on my card, and this will contrast nicely with that. The orange will also be a very bright focal point for the card, and I love that. Also, orange is my favorite color, but I'm just trying to explain my design choices a little bit here. I'm going to make the bike blue because, again, that contrasts nicely with the orange, and it will go well with the green as well. The trees, I'm going to do something similar. Again, most of my bookmark is going to be green, so the fall colors for the leaves are perfect to contrast with that. The coloring is fairly simple. When I do watercoloring, I like to put down a bit of color and blend it out with water afterwards. And then once that first layer is dry, I usually go over it with a second layer to add shading. I'm not doing that with the trees because they're quite small, and I just wanted some fun colors in there. Once these are all colored, I am going to let them dry, just set them aside for a little bit, and then I can cut them out, fussy cut them out. Now for my backgrounds, I am going to make a very abstract grassy hill sort of background. I actually did that before in my other video with the Warm Hugs stamp set. It's a very different abstract grassy hill, but I just love to make scene elements look a little bit different. So I'll link to that video below so you can check out my other design for this stamp set. I'm first going to make the background for the card, and I am working on a die-cut piece of watercolor cardstock. It's the same cardstock I used before, and I am just adding on some stripes or blobs of green. I am starting out with a very light green, then I'm heat setting that, so to make sure it's completely dry, you want to heat set your layers in between, and then I go over it with a slightly darker shade of green, and then I finish it off with another shade of green. For the bookmark or the tag, I am doing the same thing. I am going to do 3 or 4 grassy hills here because it's a little bit taller, the tag, or there's a little bit more space on it, so I can just go wild with the greens. Now it is really important to let your layers of watercolor dry in between, because if you don't, you're going to reactivate the first layer, and that just means that you won't be building up your colors. You're just going to be working in a wet piece of your paper, and all of the colors are going to blend together. You're not going to get clean edges, and you're also not going to be able to build up that intense color. Once that is dry, I can finish this off with some sentiments. I am going to stamp Thankful for You on the bookmark, together with 3 of the small leaf images that are included in this stamp set. I'm going to stamp those with some embossing ink. And this is Versamark ink, and I'm just making sure that's stamped nicely, and then I can sprinkle on some Wow Gold Rich Pale Embossing Powder. It's perfect gold for fall cards. I really love the this gold, and what's the other one I like from Wow Embossing? I think it's brass. Yes, metallic brass. That's also a really pretty gold. This is a little bit more yellow, and it's just stunning. Goes really great with the orange. Now I have the warm hugs stamped on my card panel, and the Thankful for You with the leaves stamped on the tag or the bookmark. I'm going to finish off the bookmark first because it's really easy. I cut another bookmark or a tag with some patterned paper, and I'm just layering that on the back of the bookmark just to finish it off and also to make it a little bit more sturdy. I also used 300 GSM watercolor cardstock for the bookmark because I know the way I use my bookmarks, and I think my friends are the same. You know, you're not too careful with your bookmarks, and I do want this to last. So yeah, I made it out of a little bit more sturdy paper. I'm also adding the trees on there. I'm just gluing those straight down. I'm not adding dimension to them because, again, it's a bookmark. You probably don't want to prop up your images on that. They're gonna flatten out between the pages of the book anyway. That finishes off the bookmark. You can, of course, add a little piece of string at the top there, but you don't have to. The tag, by the way, is a die set by Reverse Confetti, and I will link that below as well. To finish off the card, I added a piece of craft cardstock to my card panel, and then I added cardboard against the back of the postage die by Waffle Flower, and I am propping the bear up on some foam tape. That almost finishes up the card. All I'm going to do now is add a couple of embellishments, and these are by Pinkfresh Studio. They're the matte gold embellishments, again perfect for fall and Christmas. I really love the look of this gold. It's just a little bit softer. Now, of course, when I really want something to look nice, I add a matching envelope, and this stamp set makes it really easy because it comes with those trees, and they're just a perfect small accent to put on the back of your envelope. So I folded a brown envelope with my We Are Memory Keepers 1-3 punch board. I will link to a video on how I make my envelopes in the description below as well. And I just stamped on the trees with Versafine ink or Versamark ink and added that same gold embossing powder. That finishes off the card, the tag or bookmark, and the envelope. A really fun set to send to someone, maybe for a birthday. Just a little gift in there of the bookmark. Maybe add a book, why not? I really like how these turned out. I love the watercolor hills, and of course, Jane's cute images are perfect for these card and bookmark. I hope you like it. I really enjoyed making these. I had a ton of fun with this stamp set. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's linked in the description below if you want to buy it. But Jane also has a ton of other autumn stamp sets. She actually has a whole section on her store for autumn themed stamps, which is definitely worth checking out. I hope you do. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.